Hello and welcome back to another video of All About Cloud. Today I'm going to discuss about how to learn AWS or cloud, or basically how to start with this journey of cloud computing. So today is going to be an interesting talk, and it's very important for all the beginners, whoever who don't know what cloud is, or they know what cloud or AWS is. They have heard these terms but they don't know where to start learning from. So stay tuned. So these are the four major things which you have to do in order to learn cloud. The first thing is reading documentation. The documentation is freely available. You can access AWS documentation at aws.amazon.com. How you can use documentation to learn about AWS. The other thing is presentations and workshops. There are tons of AWS events around the year. You can attend those, or you can attend some workshops or presentations. The third is course providers. There are a lot of courses. Some are for specific certification, other are for some topics. And the fourth one is everything else. One more thing which is very important to learn in AWS is using AWS. You have to use AWS in order to get better with it, in order to understand how everything works, in order to understand the defaults with AWS and everything else. So let's begin and let's deep dive in all of these options. First thing which you can do is read documentation. Documentation which is available on aws.amazon.com actually is huge. It's not easy to read all of this documentation, and if you want to read about a specific service, then the URL is aws.amazon.com/s3. Other thing is, if you're following this part of reading documentation, you have to read a lot. There are tens of thousands of pages in the documentation alone, and the documentation ranges from very basics to very advanced thing. It also includes technical details, details about SDKs, APIs, limits, and pricing, and so on. You have to make sure that you connect all the dots which is covered in the documentation. If you want to use particular service, and if you want to integrate two or three services together in order to develop something, it's your job to understand all the moving parts, all the different aspects of all of these services. In my opinion, starting from documentation is not good for beginners. There are better ways, and let's see what are some of those. Other than reading documentation, what you can do is you can attend presentations, workshops, or trainings. Some of the trainings is by AWS experts themselves. It could be in class or online. Workshop or presentations could be specific to tool or a particular topic, let's say compute or storage or big data. These kind of trainings are better in organizing your ideas clearly. You would understand what these particular services are used for, how to use them, and it is very good for beginners because you will have specific steps to follow in the workshop, and you can also ask the expert about your queries. The best part is some of these workshops, especially if they are online, are repeatable, means you can do them many times. You can access some of the workshops from AWS at workshops.aws, that is a URL, and you will find a lot of workshops covering a lot of topics like IoT, Alexa, machine learning, DevOps, containers, and so on. Other than this, I also prefer this, which is aws.training, and you can access workshops on the specific topics like EC2, or you can also access something like AWS Cloud Practitioner Essential, which is like a 6 hours course. So it is about some of the topics is about the certification. The other topics is about specific to tools or technologies. I'll share all of these links in the description of the video, so do check it out. Other than workshops, you can attend or purchase courses. Courses is covering one topic from beginning till end. It is very good if you are going for AWS certification or if you want to understand a particular type of service, let's say a Lambda, then you should go ahead and purchase a course on AWS Lambda. It's not good to learn about how to manage cloud properly or some of the operational issues which comes with cloud, like how to manage DevOps teams or how to automate your processes. Courses is not a good option to learn all of those things. Some of the platforms where you can purchase these courses are is Udemy, A Cloud Guru, which is my personal favorite, or Linux Academy, and there are tons of others. The experience of learning depends on the platform itself. So on Udemy, the experience might be different. On A Cloud Guru, you might get a hands-on lab with your course. So it depends. Again, the best part is that all the courses, especially if they are online, are repeatable. It means that you can do them again and again. And if something is not clear, you may have an expert available to you, or you can ask your questions on online forums. A Cloud Guru is available at acloudguru.com, and not only AWS, but you can get courses for Azure, GCP, and so many other things. It's a great learning platform. There are other sources as well. These podcasts could be about interviews or it could be about specific topics. Two of my favorite podcasts on the topic of AWS is AWS Public Sector Podcast and AWS Tech Chat. Both of these are freely available on SoundCloud, so do check them out. Other than that, you can attend meetups or conferences. To access these meetups, you can, other than podcasts, you can join meetups or conferences. There are a lot of AWS user groups around the world, and if you're not sure how to find one, then follow this link. Here you can select continent and all the AWS user groups will be available. You can also check out meetup.com and search for AWS meetups around you. There are certain books on the topic of cloud computing, and you can get them, let's say, from Amazon. Then there are Twitch channels. There are two of my favorite Twitch channels to learn AWS is twitch.tv/AWS. There are a lot of videos on the topic of AWS, the specific tools, technologies, services, interviews, and so many other things. One other channel on Twitch, which I like a lot, is DevAX Connect. I'll share the link and you can check here a lot of solution architects discuss the implementations and services. And it's a multilingual channel. You will find a lot of different languages covered in this channel. Then YouTube, you can search for AWS on YouTube and you'll find ton of content like my channel as well. I'm covering AWS topics, and if you love to learn about AWS or cloud computing, do subscribe this channel. Other than my channel, you can check out AWS channel itself, the youtube.com/user/amazon.services. There are tons of videos ranging from management to tools and technologies, and it's a great way to learn AWS or learn about AWS. And then you can learn from blog posts, from Medium, Dev2, and there are many others. It's just a Google away. One more way of learning AWS is as a student or on job. So if you are a student, you can sign up for AWS Educate account or use your company account and play with the free tier services. It will help you to understand the basics of AWS if you actually use AWS with the console, and there's no replacement of actual experience. No course can achieve that. My final advice to you is that you have to practice. There's no substitute for that. and no course can replace practice. Other than that, you have to start delivering projects. Once you complete the project from start till end and deliver it, then you will learn a lot more about AWS rather than just trying out one specific service. Finally, if you want to learn more and enhance your skills, then you have to manage products on AWS, which includes much more than just development, which includes logging, visibility, graphs, monitoring, and so much more. And that's a different level of expertise. To start, you can start small and gradually learn more. At last, if we want to discuss on how about percentages, how much I should know about AWS, then my answer to you is nobody knows 100% about AWS because there are over 150 services and nobody could be an expert in all of those services equally. So as a beginner, let's say you have few weeks or few months of exposure, go for a classroom training. That is the best advice from me to you. Attend meetups, and meetups specifically you have to attend throughout. Meetups will give you different kind of exposure every time you attend them. You will explore different ideas, how others are consuming or using AWS services, and a general idea about cloud computing industry. So in beginner stage, you just have to remember what services are and what they do. You just have to understand them, and that is good. Once you have a basic knowledge about services, you should target production workload. Production workload is any application which serves end users. At this stage, start reading books, and you also have to read documentation at this stage. You cannot remember everything, and that's why documentation helps. Start reading or exploring blogs, which gives you alternate idea about how to use AWS. At this stage, you will just apply your knowledge and analyze what is further you can do. After this, the stage is like when you have multiple products, you're managing them or developing it, and you also have exposure to different domains of AWS, like compute, AI, big data, DevOps, and so on. At this stage, do check out the podcasts, which are not only for specific services, but will also give you in-depth knowledge on how others do what you are trying to do. Follow the trends and releases cycle of AWS. Understand why AWS is releasing a particular service, what is the use of it, and how you can use all those services to your advantage. At this stage, you are evaluating further and creating your new knowledge. And finally, I would not say 100%, but advanced stage of AWS maturity is when you are working as a cloud native. Cloud native means for every use case, for every scenario, you have a service which you can refer to, or you can think about while solutioning. You might be working or you might be managing multiple teams, and at this stage, you will truly understand the power of polycloud. And polycloud itself is a topic which I cannot cover here, but it's for the next video. At this stage, you will also do optimizations, whether in terms of cost or performance or both or something else. And then you have to apply a higher order thinking. Like, what if I build this today, but when the application load increases 10 times, how will my infrastructure behave or how will the services behave? That is beyond and sometimes non-technical knowledge. Sometimes it's architecturing, sometimes it's uh, people management, and so on. And this, I would say, is the peak of your cloud computing knowledge. So that's it for this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and do subscribe the channel for future such videos. Thank you.